going to look at the Bay Park now.
Yep.
You know, in regards to the new test. Do you know anything about it?
The new test or Bay Park?
How the Bay... Sorry, I should have worded that a bit better. How the Bay Park will work in regards to the new test?
No.
So you're going to be asked to either drive forwards into a bay and reverse out, or reverse in and then drive forwards out.
Okay, yep.
Alright, currently all they're doing is reversing in every time.
Yeah.
Well, you might drive forwards out, but you're not really assessed on that. It's well, you are actually, and then just reversing in. So we're going to go over both.
Yep.
I'm going to give you some reference points for both. Just a couple of things to bear in mind, that when we drive into the bay, we want to try to not cross the lines as much as possible.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because in theory, if there's cars parked there, it's not going to be possible to do that. You want to leave enough space for everyone to get out.
Say that again.
You want to leave enough space for other people to get out as well. So obviously on these couple of spaces no one's here, but if there were cars there,
Yeah.
and they go over the line, I could either clip the mirror, or if I'm too close on one side, it might make it hard for them to get out.
Okay, good, yeah. So just in terms of the park itself, we can finish in the bay slightly crooked, but then when we drive out, we could drive out at an angle and cross the lines and hit another car, like you say. So we want to be straight if possible. In terms of the new test, what you can't do is drive. You see there, it's like a double bay.
Yeah.
You know, it backs onto the other, so you could have one car one side, one car the other. You can't drive over the bay to get into the other one. It's got to be the first bay, because in real life situation you might not always be able to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's just have a quick. I was sent this by the DVSA. It's just telling me about the changes of the driving test. Let's just see if there's any vital information here that I need to make you aware of. So it just says that they'll use a variety of car parks for the bay parking exercise, such as hotels, retail parks and supermarkets. It says that they're finding suitable car parks for each test centre. The Derby test centre has got its own car park, so I honestly don't know if they're going to use that. If they use that, it takes away the element of cars being around you.
Yeah, I suppose it does, yeah.
So I don't know how that will work really. Because if they go down our local Asda or somewhere busy, then it could take quite a long time.
Could do, yeah.
So I'm unsure, but you know, so we're just waiting for December 4th really, and seeing what happens there.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to sit in on the first test, see how that goes. Yeah, so the examiner will ask you to park in a bay, either driving in and reversing out, or reversing out or reversing in and driving out, as I just said. The instruction they'll give to drive forwards into a parking bay is, and here's the script, when you stop and you've finished, they'll tell you when to reverse out. So I'll do the same with you today. We might as well do it at the same time, won't we? Now I'd like you to reverse out either to the left or right if the car park allows it. So you've got to, depending on whether you reverse to the left or the right, would depend on the car park system. What system do car parks sometimes have?
One way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So look out for signs on the way in, things like that. Your pupil doesn't need to park in a bay where the vehicles in. Okay, so just mentioned that. Your pupils can't drive through the first parking bay and then park directly in the bay in front of that. We just said that. When they reverse out, they can't go into any bays behind them. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, so I suppose if there was no Audi there and I was parked there, I'm not allowed to reverse into the bays, because like now there could be a car there.
Exactly. So that's the thinking behind that. Let's just have a look if there's anything else there in terms of that. No, that's it really. So I guess really then in this case it's a case of me giving you some reference points.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
I think that'd be useful, yeah.
And then giving it a go. I think we'll drive into the bay forwards first.
Yep.
And then reverse out. So do you want me to show you a visual and point out where to position, what to look for, or do you want me to give you a demonstration where you can watch me, or would you like me to do both, or something else or maybe you've got a different suggestion?
I think maybe both.
do both?
Yeah, just because I've not covered it yet before.
Okay, that's fine. What I'll do then, I'll do the visual first, so that you can relate the information that I give you in practical when I do it. If that's all.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense? I think that would work better.
Alright, yeah.
Oh, when I said visual, I mean visual aid. Is that
Yeah.
what you thought I meant?
Yes,
Looking at it on a book, yeah? Oh, okay, it's at the back. I know it's at the back. Why am I why am I doing that? Here we go. Alright, so when you basically when you drive, I'm gonna make this really simple. When you drive into the car park, if you're gonna reverse backwards into a bay or drive forwards into a bay, make sure that you've got a car's width between you and the bays.
Yeah.
So if you're driving down the middle, it might mean, if you're going into the bay on the right, it might mean just coming left a little bit. What would you need to check before you come left? And
centre and left.
Yeah. So you're just looking for anybody coming out the side of parked vehicles along here, or anything that could already be at the side of you. We just saw a bike go past there, haven't we? So it could be something like that. Okay. That gives you, the reason that you want to have that space there is because it gives you oh, sorry. If you're going into these bays, you want a gap here. Yeah. So let's get rid of that arrow. So you're going into the bay on the left. It just gives you a bigger turning circle, so you can potentially make adjustments before you get into the bay.
Yeah.
What speed do you think you're going to be driving forwards into a bay, and what gear do you think?
Probably first gear. 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, probably not even that.
Yeah.
5 mile an hour, but quite quick going in, but certainly. So if we turn into the car park from here, here's our entry. So you'd probably be second here.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get in, you've got the chance of pedestrians everywhere, people walking through gaps, kids who have loosed their parents' hand, that sort of thing, who could be running ahead. So what gear do you think you'd select here? First gear. And we'll just drive through in first gear. It's also going to allow you to look out and give you time to look for what particular lights that could affect you on cars. What do those white lights mean? Yeah, indicators. Yeah. White lights mean that a car's about to reverse out. So if their wheels don't stop moving, we need to consider stopping. Yeah. Because they could reverse into us. So first gear, and then just let the engine tick over, just take us really. Consider whether not to accelerate, and then get your position. So if we're pulling into a bay on the left, establish that car's width. Yeah. Between the end of the bays and the side of your car. The reference point for turning in is when one of those white lines hits halfway on your door. So it'd be about here. Yeah. That's half of the door, and then you turn in. So if you look across to that white line on the left there, where that white Audi is, where does that white line appear now? Just tell me when to stop the pen.
There, left a bit.
Okay. Yeah. So if you turned in there and put a full left lock on, so we're dealing with full locks here. Yeah. You are going to end up in the bay next to the Audi. Okay. So if it was this bay here that you turned on, for example, halfway on there. Yeah. So that's halfway on your moon now. You're going to be, so that's line 1, 2, 3. You're going to be in between line 2 and line 3. There. Yep. Does that make sense? Yeah. As you come in, pop the clutch down, let it roll, control the speed with the foot brake or clutch control if it's slightly uphill. Yeah. Consider whether to take, so we're going to use a full lock, but we might need to take a little bit off. Okay. It's possible that the back tyres might just go over a little bit over the edge. That's not a massive problem as long as we don't do this. Yeah. You know, and cut it completely, because as you said earlier, you're gonna scrape other cars and things like that. Yeah. Alright. Now there's a reference that we can use so that we know that bonnet's level with the end of the car park, you know, with a curb line. Yeah. Do you remember what that reference was off turning the road? It's the same reference as turning the road, or when we at junctions, the junction reference, that we know the bonnet's level but not hitting or over.
Is it just when your mirror comes within the line? So, do you mean parallel with that curb?
It could be the curb or it could be the line.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Basically, when the when the curb line is underneath your door mirror, it means your bonnet's level with or about level with, but not over or about or going to hit.
Yeah.
You know, if it was a raised curb, you wouldn't want to hit it. If it's a white line, you want your bonnet hanging over because it could obstruct somebody else from parking in the bay. What's the word? Adjacent to it. So yeah. So that's going in, and I think what we'll do is we'll do the going in first, shall we?
Okay, yeah.
So it's fresh in your mind. So would you like me to, of course, handbrake neutral when you stop?
Yeah.
Would you like me to demonstrate now based on that?
Yeah, I think so.
If there's any pedestrians around, what would you do? What's the safest thing to do if they're moving
Just
or walking towards you?
Stop and let them do what they're going to do.
If you need to stop at any point before you get going again, what sort of checks would you do if you relate this to the turn the road left reverse we did?
So check your blind spots and just check behind you as well if you are reversing, because it could be little kids as well.
Yeah, so all round obs, and remember, so just all round obs before we start again, because something could be developing in a blind spot and we start moving and it appears and we think, where the hell did that come from? And we didn't spot it. All right then, so shall we swap over?
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll probably do the whole thing. I'll do a little circuit around this block and I'll pretend I've just come into a new car park and I'm, you know what I said it with the gears and that, and I'll sort of plan it out, get my positioning. I think we've already got like a car's width here, but to be honest, the bigger the gap you can have, the better. Yeah. But some car parks are quite narrow, so you might have to do it in a couple of manoeuvres. For the driving test, I reckon they will choose one that will be, I don't know this, but I think they'll choose one that's quite generous in space and not incredibly busy, like I say, because you'll be there all day. Test is only 40 minutes, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm just going to drive it round. All the mirrors are okay and that, and the seating position, so I'm not going to adjust that. So it is actually one way, isn't it, as well? So stop junction here. To a stop. So if I was coming in from the actual entrance, I'd probably be in second gear down here. Yeah. Mirror signal, turning, and I'd probably get first gear before I turn. And what I'm doing now, my feet are off the pedals and I'm letting the tick overdo the control, looking out for any hazards, and it looks clear, to be honest. So I'm going to park in a bay over there on the right. Alright, so I've checked my left mirror and my centre, there's nothing behind, and I'm just positioned left slightly. So I'm going to turn on this line coming up now. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cut that out. Let me just actually suss this out. So if I turn on that one, oh, there's a curve there. 1, 2. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. See that? Let's do that again. So on that one there. Oh right, okay. The reference is when it's level with me. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So when that's level with me, then turning there's too late.
Okay. So it's got to be back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do that again. Okay, so coming in then, I'm checking my centre and left, positioning left just slightly to give myself a slightly bigger turning circle. Can't see any reverse lights or any hazards. Now when the white line's level with me, not halfway on the door, I'll I'm going to turn in, so yeah, full lock on. Clutch in, let it roll, and as I'm coming in, I'm slowly taking the steering off as I become straight, holding at the clutch there, little edge forward, and the white lines underneath my door mirror. Handbrake, neutral, and then if I just have a look down, that's parallel, and just have a look down there, Chris, can you see the white line and a gap between the car?
Yeah.
If you look forwards, do you feel straight in relation to the car park?
Yes, I'd say so.
It might be slightly 1 minute to the left,
Yeah.
if it was a clock, but that's, you know, that's not going to cause any issues. So for the purposes of the video, then because I'm quite new in teaching this myself, to be honest, it's not something I've taught it on request. I guess really I should be teaching it all along, but I guess that's what the changes are from the DVSA to push forward training and make it more real life, and this is. So any questions or thoughts on that?
I don't think so. So it's just when you're level with it, full lock on, and then obviously just get ready with your clutch and brake.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
Now the next bit then is reversing out.
Yeah.
So where are you going to be looking when you're reversing?
Behind you.
Behind. So it's going to be all round obs. Make sure nothing's coming.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind though, if there's a one-way system, would I steer straight away when I reverse out, or would I?
No, probably not. You'd leave it until you get to the end of the space.
That's it.
And then turn, because you don't want to clip any other cars.
Yeah, and if there's no cars next to it, we'll imagine there is, and we don't want to cross the lines.
Yeah.
So from the guidance notes we just read, it says that also we can't go in the base behind, so we'll bear that in mind with the turning timing as well. Alright, so I'm going to use prepare, observe, move, reverse. White lights are on, reverse lights, so anything coming in knows what I'm doing, although I would wait for it because I'll be crossing its path. So checking around, gentle clutch control, I'm just holding it here and it's rolling down a bit of camber. That car's turning, looking where I'm going. And I'm going to turn, what about now? See the lines there?
Yep.
So full left lock. And I reckon just about there. Yep. I'm not going to cross into those bays. And looking forwards, so you could consider handbrake here, but to be honest, we're probably going to roll the way we were going to go anyway. So when I release the foot brake, that's fine. Reverse to first. Check around. That car's waiting. And nothing coming over from that side, so off the brake it's rolling anyway. Full left lock on, and then as you can see the front end isn't going to go over. If there was any cars in those bays I wouldn't clip them. Cool. Left shoulder there, 'cause there's been some time in left door mirror, and that's that for driving in forwards. So how did you find that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Just step by step. Yeah.
Good. So do you want to go at doing that next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll give that a go.
And then we'll talk about the reverse bit. The reference points are similar but slightly different.
Okay, yeah.
Just in terms of timing. Oh, I think that's where I got confused with. Yeah. So the reverse one is halfway on the door.
So the reverse one's about here.
Yeah, and the forwards one is level with you.
Yeah. All right.
Or level with the seat, or the back end of the halfway on the car, basically. You can
Makes
say.
sense.
All right. Cool.
The driver. Yeah.
Rightio, Chris. So, what do you need from me? Do you want a full guide through, or do you want to sort of give that a go? There's not loads of steps involved, is there? But it's up to you, really. Whatever you need.
I think I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would say is probably that subconsciously I need to watch my speed. I think that's the only thing, because I've done it when I used to do it with my mum, just driving around. We used to do it a little bit, and I just used to pull in way too quick, and then you lose a bit of your control when you do that. So I think I'm just gonna watch my speed, and that's probably about it.
Okay. So I'll leave you to it then. If I feel that your speed's a bit quick, shall I just tell you and tell you, you know, if you respond and do the right thing, fine. If you don't, I'll tell you what to do with the pedals to make it what you need it to be instantly, sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but apart from that, I'll leave you to it. I won't step in unless it's safety critical, I guess.
Cool.
Are you going to go round the block again like I did, that sort of thing, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the best bet.
So you're turning right twice then, yeah?
Yeah.
Feel free to talk out loud if you wish, you don't have to.
Okay. I think I'll go for the ones on the right.
Okay. So what you're going to check as you're steering left. That's it.
Centre and left.
Okay.
Left.
Cover clutch.
Yeah.
And door mirror reference. Okay. Not bad.
Not bad, not the best.
All right. Secure the car so I can have a quick chat. What's not the best about it then, Chris?
I think I swung round too quick. So if there was a car in that space, my front end kind of came out a little bit as I was turning. And I don't think I'm straight.
I think we're straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're quite straight there. The only thing is your tyres has turned still. When you reverse backwards, what's the danger if you was to forget and two cars was actually at the side of us?
You probably go one way or the other with your wheels like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned speed. That would definitely happen if you just whizzed off too quick.
Yeah.
Now, we had a lesson yesterday and we talked about covering a particular pedal because we might just need it. What pedals are?
Clutch.
Yeah, and that time there was a bit of a rumble and a bit of a... It was all right. We still got the job done,
yeah.
but we could have been smoother, and I think that would have helped you to concentrate on the accuracy more.
Yeah.
What should you have been covering as you come in there at low speed?
Clutch and brake.
Yeah. And you was only covering the...
I think it was just the brake.
Just the brake, wasn't it? So that's something to think about. I thought it was actually fine, really, in terms of coming in. You know, that front end's always going to come close to that bay. It just is. It just has to.
Okay.
And what you'll find is it's not as close as you think. You know, when you are parking next to cars in real life, sometimes it looks ridiculously close, and it's not. It's not like you think it is.
I guess it's true because, like all the cars, are about a foot away from the actual line.
There's that as well.
So I guess
you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're closer. But that's why speed on approach is vital, because you get a chance to analyse all these things.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, you know, I mean, we had quite a bit of a. Well, you was about the same speed as I was. It was reasonable, but sometimes I'm much slower as well.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just edging it bit by bit, steering on, steering off, steering off, that kind of thing. Just sussing it out, really.
Yeah.
But so that was fine, really. I mean, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And you're happy that your bonnet isn't overhanging in the other bay?
Yeah, I'd say I'm happy with that.
You're within the lines. You can see that in your door mirror.
Yep.
Bodywork and door mirror. This one, you might not be able to see this one, but if you wanted to, you can set your mirrors from your armrest there down.
Yeah, I could do.
And you can set that. Just do that now, just so you can. You don't need the engine on because the electric's already on. Just press down on that.
Yeah.
And you can see that you're absolutely fine, aren't you?
Within
Really?
the line, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right if you're a bit more one way than the other. Not a problem. That's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're not going to get perfect every time, and let's not pretend that we will, really, because I don't. So, are you all right with that then?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So the next thing then is reversing out.
Yeah.
When you reverse out, do you want help from me, or do you think you'll be able to?
I think I'll be alright. You know, because I've left my wheel like this.
Yeah.
Should I correct it?
Yeah. What's going to be the best way to do that?
So I want to avoid dry steering, really.
Good stuff.
So probably edge very slowly and turn at the same time.
You've got it.
Is that it?
The key is rolling backwards so slowly that will be insignificant anyway, but enough to make you realise which way it's veering. So if it's veering that way, you're going to steer this way, not to take it off.
Yeah.
So that's it really. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll reverse out, we'll get into position where we'd drive off, and we'll stop again, and then we'll go over the reversing in and pulling forwards out.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Just a quick one, before you're positioned to turn into the actual parking space, didn't check some mirrors, and I just had to prompt you for that.
Okay, yeah.
What was that? What was they?
Centre and left as I was swinging out.
Yeah, really important one, that.
Yeah.
What could be the danger? Just so I know it's in your mind.
There could be cars reversing because it's a car park. There could be kids, or there could even be a car trying to overtake me if I was swinging.
Exactly. All right then. So what we'll do is we'll get started on that when you're ready, and you're going to give it a go yourself. You said, is that right? Or
yes, yeah.
I'm happy to help you as well. It's up to you.
Okay. I think I'll give it a go.
Okie dokie. Careful with that steering, Chris. Straighten it all. Stop. Right. Look at where your car is in the bay. Would you say we're about halfway in the bay still?
Yeah, so it probably wouldn't turn at this point.
Yeah.
You'd leave it towards the end.
That's it.
Turn, yeah.
Let's pull back forward. There's no point carrying. Might as well just learn as we go along and just, you know, just get it sorted. Straighten the wheel up completely. Have a look at the wheel as you're stopping. I would get the red band at the top. That's your marker. If you haven't got a red band, you could use that diagram there.
Yeah.
So you'd stand the whatever the logo on its feet. All right. So just secure the car again. Now, why do you think that happened? Do you think that happened because you didn't? Because you were steering anyway to take that off, and you just carried on with it?
That's probably what it was. I think I was just trying to correct it, and then corrected it too much, and then yeah.
Because you're the one that told me that you wouldn't steer too early because it's a car. I'm sure it was you.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of that, then, what other observations do you need to have, as well as backwards, to know where you are in relation to the bay still, and the front side of the car?
Just checking your mirrors, and probably with the line under your mirror as well. Just checking to make sure you still are straight, because you don't want to be swinging out.
Yeah, just look forwards and you'll see where it is in relation to the line next to you. Yeah, all right then. I guess if you can't see the white line under your door mirror anymore, or that line over there, then you can steer, because that means the bonnet's level with the end of the bay.
Yeah.
Making it up as we go along, but it will work. Because it's the opposite to what we said in terms of being forward and not being over the line with the bonnet. Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So when you're ready, do you want help with those bits, or do you think you'll be all right?
I think it'll be all right, because the wheel's straight now, so it should just be. So I'm just gonna edge back to the end of the bay and then full lock on.
Okay. Stop it there, Chris. Sorry to disrupt you, but it could be safety critical by not checking over that shoulder,
the blind spot,
before you start moving backwards. Do you know what I mean?
Just like doing a double check.
Well, I didn't think that you checked first. Am I wrong in saying that?
I might not have checked it actually. Yeah.
So it's really important, because if you check your mirror, is that going to show you that entry there?
No, it's not.
Nothing like it, is it? Or if a car's reversing out of a bay over here, or coming round the corner there. So yeah.
Okay.
Full all-round check before we start moving.
Full obs, yeah.
Yeah. All right then. So when you're ready, starting with that full obs, we'll do the same again. Minus the not checking. Clutch on the floor, Chris. Clutch on the floor. Off the brake, and it might just roll down the camber.
Yep.
And that'll be a perfect speed. Think about if you've got steer on, and look at the steering wheel. Just stop there, stop. Right, you're steering too early. Can you see the bays there?
Yeah.
If there's a car there, you'd swing into it. So as you're reversing backwards, you're starting to steer. I want you to look at the steering wheel more and be really disciplined with them hands. You see the steering wheel here has got like almost like a T shape. So you could rest your thumbs on there, and that's like almost like a, imagine a spirit level, keeping it straight, keeping the bubble in the middle straight. And then, so it's backwards, sides, look forwards, we see where the lines are, and I wouldn't turn until you're much further back. If you imagine where the bonnet is, that would swing into that bay and hit a car.
Yeah, probably would.
So if you don't mind, pop it into first. And just check around before we start moving, make sure that nothing's going to come through the side of us or anything. And just edge it back forwards into the bay. What I'm going to do this time, it's okay with you, keep steering, keep steering, keep steering. Look at the steering wheel as well, because that helps. Steer left a bit, so feel a bit low, but veering towards the, that'll do, to the right. What I'm gonna, do you want me to give you some guidance this time on that?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah?
I'd say so.
Alright, so just, okay. It's actually easier just driving into the bay, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's less to it, as long as you got that initial reference point. Alright then, Chris, so if you prepare, I'm sorry to keep interrupting your flow there, but I guess that's what this is all about. So if you prepare yourself, and then keep the clutch on the floor. Now all car parks have camber, they'll be humped like this.
Yeah.
Because and then you'll have the drains in the middle channels, look.
Yeah.
See where the water gathers.
Yeah.
And so we're going down, probably should have discussed this with you earlier, we're going down the camber a little bit, would you agree?
Yeah, we are, towards that drain.
So what I do is put your foot on the foot brake, squeeze it, release your handbrake, but keep your feet where they are. We're not going to move yet, but just put the handbrake on. Just check and keep your feet squares. Just check round, that's it, like we said. Work your way around to the direction of travel left shoulder. Off the brake now, keep the clutch where it is. If it doesn't move, it is moving. Little nudge off the clutch and clutch back down to the floor, and that momentum should continue then. Clutch back down, good, so it's rolling. Anything coming in the entry?
No.
Okay, back to what we do and then direction of travel. Now, keep at that speed. Look here, it's not time to steer yet, is it?
No.
Well done with your steering wheel as well, using that technique. Don't steer yet. Can you see it's not quite time yet? Now check the right shoulder, anything coming?
No.
Nobody behind us?
No.
And keep an eye on where the bays are behind us, yeah? So looking here, I reckon you're going to move a little bit. Just stop there. Do the end of those white lines come underneath the door mirror there?
Almost.
Yeah?
A little bit more.
Alright, so as you're moving then, if you start to full lock right, but check all around before you do because we've stopped.
Yep.
Off the brake, Chris. Clutch on the floor though, clutch on the floor. You don't need a bite every time if it's downhill.
Okay.
Off the brake, if it rolls, it rolls. If it doesn't, we'll initiate some movement from a little bit of the bite point. Full right lock, quick as you can, that's the one. Looking for the lines there, making sure no cars are coming in. Looking over this shoulder here.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Stop about there? In relation to those lines?
Probably about there, yeah.
Yeah? And then, but if we went into first gear now, I wouldn't bother with a handbrake. You might need it if you're on
a hill or something.
A camber that's different to the way you want to go.
Okay.
So if you're looking forwards and you roll backwards, that wouldn't be good. But if we're looking forwards and we roll forwards, that's not a problem.
No.
Does that make sense? And then, yeah, all the way around with the obs. And if it's clear, off the brake, set some revs. Full lock as quickly as you possibly can. Quick, keep going with the steering. Faster, 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 Chris. Keep going.
All the way.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just bring it to a pause just there. Okay. Right, just secure the car. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the reference points and everything makes sense now I've done it. I think it was just the steering, like I was saying before. So just need to get to the end of the bay before I steer.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the test, it doesn't say anything about doing that.
Yeah.
On that booklet that I've got. So for the purposes of the video, this is the booklet that I was sent. It's from the DVSA and it was sent to all 40,000 plus driving instructors in the UK, just telling us sort of what to do in terms of the changes to the test. So they might be all right with you crossing the lines, but I think it's, regardless of test, you know, it's better to teach you to have those skills. Because you bet your life, loads of people go off, pass the test, reverse out of the bay at Asda or Tesco, wherever they go,
Yeah.
and scrape a car because they've turned too early and they're looking backwards probably, or you know. So either way, that's good to do, and we'll stick with that. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What do you want to do now? Do you want to look at the reversing bit, or do you want to do that again?
Probably do it. I'd like to do it once more.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
probably do it once more, and then reverse out once more as well, and then from there we'll do the reversing in.
Sounds good to me. Do you want any help with it?
I think I'm going to give it a go.
Okay.
Obviously, if you notice anything, like maybe I'm steering too early when I'm coming out as well, just let me know.
Will do. Be careful not to conflict with the foot control as well.
Okay.
If you're on the foot brake but you're at the bite, you're telling it to go and stop at the same time.
Yeah. So just let off the brake.
Clutch on the floor,
Clutch
let
on.
off the brake.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good stall if you do it that way. The
Yeah.
other way we said. Yep. So where are you planning on doing it, Chris? Are you doing it in one of these bays here, or are you going to drive around again? What's your plan?
I think I might give it a go down this one,
Yeah, fine.
because there's cars on that
Absolutely
side, so I guess it'd get me used to.
Yeah, that'd be good actually. Good
Yeah.
plan. Good stuff. Whenever you're ready, we'll have a look. Hold on. Any ideas why it's stalled, Chris?
I think we were doing the thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, and you're doing it again now. Use the clutch to control.
Yeah.
Keep the lock on for longer. Hold it on, and off really quick. Now is you straight. Oh, you did it again there. Right, let me. I tell you what you want to do. You want to do that block again, and I'm going to get you to just kill your speed by just using your clutch, no brake whatsoever.
No brake at all.
And that's a habit that you want to get into with all your manoeuvring, edging at junctions, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But before we do that, how do you feel you are in terms of your reference point coming into the bay?
I think my reference point was pretty good. Maybe a little bit soon.
Maybe a touch.
Yeah.
Maybe that corner went over a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, with that, it's give or take really, because if you're not more that way, because you talked about this corner, so it's either that corner or it's that corner, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, something's got to go over something, because it's the front tyres that do the steering. It's different when you're reversing because the back pivots, so we can get it so we don't cross anything when we reverse. And you'll see in a bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that really. We just need to sort out the foot control, don't we?
Yeah. So just using clutch purely and
purely.
Yeah.
And what I do, so I go clutch first at low speed to control my speed. It's not coasting, you're not going to lose control.
Yeah.
And then I'm covering the brake, deciding when to and how thick to.
Okay.
So that's what you want to do. Clutch, bang, cover the brake, and
yeah.
All right. So what we'll do then is we'll reverse out.
Yeah.
And then when you go round, I'll guide you with that control.
Yeah, I think that'd be useful.
Or I'll guide you. When you're doing this, I'll tell you to do it as well, I think. And I feel I need to tell you, do you? Just to get it in.
Yeah. So just using the clutch.
As long as you don't build up too much speed, the clutch will be very efficient in bringing you to a gradual, smooth slope.
Okay.
And eventually a stop if the ground's flat.
Yeah.
Okay, so just secure the car as though you just parked, for example. Do you feel straight as well?
I think I'm a little bit angled like this, but straight enough.
Yeah, there's nothing in it, is there? If you look at that Audi there, that's not The back tyre's probably not
Yeah.
much than the front or something. There's nothing in it really. It's not worth really talking about. Okay. So, are you going to give this a go for yourself, did you say?
Yes, yeah.
And I'll just keep looking out for the foot control. I'll also be keeping a closer eye on your turning timing and whether you're steering too early. But as you said, I'll let you.
Okay.
Well done with the obs there. So what? Don't move the clutch because you're still on the brake. Oh, you wasn't.
I was just covering it.
Okay, sorry, Chris.
It's alright.
So if you go clutch to the floor, see what I mean?
Yeah, it just stops.
It just stops.
Puts it straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're disconnecting the drive basically. So you could go a bit further back. Because if you look forwards here, can you see the end of the bays?
Not yet.
Oh, not over the dashboard, can we? So that would mean that if there was a car there, you'd hit the back, you'd stop and you'd reverse, but we want to do it in one really. So look more over that shoulder, right over that corner, Chris.
Yeah.
Can you see you got quite a lot there?
Yeah.
If you look where the silver Peugeot is behind us as well, in the bay, we could make this a lot easier for ourselves, basically.
Okay.
Anybody else coming from this way before we start?
No.
Some time had passed, so it's good to keep up to date with those obs. Look forwards more as well and look over that shoulder more and just see how much more you've got. All round obs all the time will keep you really educated and clued up as to your surroundings.
I'd say there.
I would too, otherwise we're going to be in those bays with this corner.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anything over this shoulder before we?
No.
Okay. Just because you was moving there, so you want to check that before you do much movement.
Okay.
Same here. Just pop your clutch down, Chris.
Yep.
Cover the brake. If it doesn't stop, which it is,
yep,
then brake, but you didn't need to. See what I mean? So we're going to go right again. Don't forget the signal, Chris. Really important to signal at car parks because there's so much risk around, more than we can even see in one eyeful, if that makes sense. You know, the stuff around developing that we're only focusing on this, but there could be things over there or over there.
Yeah, I suppose it could be like pedestrians or
exactly
other cars.
We need to allow them to make educated decisions. So when we stop again, just pop your clutch down. I bet you we stop near that drain. Cover the brake in case we don't. It's a bit hilly, so it just couldn't roll. But you see how much smoother that is?
Just makes sense, doesn't it, really? Yeah.
It does if you analyse it and that, you know, like we have done, and we get your head around it. All right then. So just secure the car. Any questions on that?
No.
And the park, you happy with the reversing out?
Yeah. I think it's just down to practice again with that one.
Do you think there's enough there for you to go off and have a look with your own private practice at home?
That's probably what I'm going to do, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So, do you want to move on to the Bay Park, the reverse back and pull forwards out?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to do the same again, a visual then a demo?
Yeah, I think that'd be useful. I think it was good last time.
Okay. So, same again, we need a car's width. So, enough space to plonk a car here.
Yep.
If we can. Some car parks are quite limited with that, and you might have to do it in a series of manoeuvres.
Yeah.
But, so what we want to do, same with the positioning, check the mirror if we're going to steer right any. I'll demonstrate with the left. Now, this time, it's not when it's bod level with your body or the seat when you steer. The full left lock happens when the line is halfway on the door. So if that was a laser level, a laser beam, halfway on the door there. So we're going to full left lock. The car's going to swing outwards like this, as that arrow suggests.
Yep.
So what shoulder do you need to check based on left reverse that we've... Yeah.
You need to check right first, and then, well, back round to the left.
Looking back to direction of travel out the back windscreen, yeah? And all-round obs, really. You just want all-round obs when you're doing these sort of things, but mainly thinking about the backwards because that's the direction you're going. So what's going to happen is, we ended up between line 2 and 3 last time.
Yeah.
From the initial point of turn line, which we'll call line 1. This time, so here's line 1, your point of turn line. There's line 2, line 3, line 4. You'll be in between line 3 and line 4.
Yep.
Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you full lock at this point.
Okay.
It's important to steer when you're moving and try and match the steering speed to the travelling speed.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually make sense, but it kind of does.
So,
if you're going really quick, you'd have to steer quick.
really, yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What was you
No,
going to say?
that's what I was going to say, yeah. So if you're going slowly, just slowly.
And again, the car's width is crucial because otherwise you're going to do this.
Yeah.
Cut all the base. So the car's width is, you know, it's a must, or as much of a gap as you can. Sometimes you might get away with a big motorbike width, handlebar width, or something like that. Just as just a rough example there. Yeah, so it's a case of, hopefully, if you get that right, you're going to come into the bay. What I normally do, I'm going to use a different pen, is I set the left door mirror before I start so that it's facing downwards. If I'm doing a left park, if I'm doing a right park, I'll set the right door mirror so it's facing downwards.
Yeah.
Why do you think I do that?
So you can see where you are in relation to the line.
Yeah. I don't want to cut that corner. And if I'm gonna, what I'll do is I'll see that as I'm coming in. So if imagine your back end's there, you look in the mirror, you see it.
Yeah.
Don't stare in the mirror, by the way, because that'll take concentration away from the safety aspect of it. So the mirror's for accuracy during the manoeuvre. You can take a bit of steer off.
Yeah.
And put it back on maybe later on. Alright, so you can make adjustments. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Hopefully we might need to make the adjustments. If we do, fine. And then we're going to come straight into the bay, look forward. You'll feel, you know what I was saying, like if imagine if it was a clock face in front of you and you've got 12, you'll see whether you're like 2 minutes past 12, 2 minutes to 12, 3 minutes to 12, and you can just sort of make some tweaks. And then yeah, just finish off looking where you go in direction of travel.
Yep.
Oh sorry, taking the lock off. You need to do that as you're becoming straight.
Yes.
Because you'll have a full left lock on this, or if you're doing a right, you'll have a full right lock on. Take the steering off as you're becoming straight, not too early. So if you straighten up while your car's still at an angle, the pens are rubbish, you'll travel back at an angle.
Yeah.
Alright? So steering, you know we've been talking about big steers recently.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a lock off, I would do it quite efficiently, as in hands meeting top and bottom. 1, 2, 3, because it's 1.5 steers.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then you want to make sure that the back end isn't going to hit a wall, a lamppost, or go over the curb, I guess, because it could obstruct the pavement. So, do you remember on the turn in the road, the reference point? There's a little picture that could help you. If you can.
The corner part.
You've got it.
Yeah.
So where this corner of your door is, the curb line should run in, and that's when you need to stop.
Yeah.
Handbrake neutral, reset door mirror, job done. And then driving forwards out, you you might be able to relate what we've already talked about driving forwards out. Tell me about steering timing when you drive forwards out.
So just waiting until you get to the end of the bay. So probably, yeah, just as you get to the end of the bay, then start your turn. You don't want to cut any cars or anything like that.
I'd wait till, as a reference then, I'd wait till you're about halfway out the bay.
Okay. So would you say maybe if you can see like half of the car next to you, if there is a car next to you?
Exactly. Yeah. So when that car's bonnet's level with, I don't know, headrest, halfway point in it roughly.
Yeah.
Unless you're driving a limo, then yeah, that should work.
Cool.
All right. Do you want me to demo, or do you want to give it a go? What do you feel like?
I think I'll watch you do it first.
Yeah.
And then
Alright,
I'll take from that when I can.
let's do that then. Okay, so what I'll do, again, when you're coming in, I'm not going to go on about the same stuff. It's just, you know, the care, the gear, the speed is all the same really coming to a car park.
Yeah.
What I would say is if you're doing a reverse one, stop gradually. Don't just stop suddenly.
Okay.
Because cars tend to tailgate other cars when you're driving into car parks.
Yeah.
And like, you can't get the reverse lights on until you've nearly stopped. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to get the reverse lights on, hopefully to stop people from closing that gap, because I'm going to reverse next.
Yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about reversing as well, because sometimes it's more convenient to reverse in and then drive forwards out, but sometimes because of how car parks are situated, if you've got to get shopping in, it's better to pull forwards in. And it really depends on
the situation, really. Yeah.
Depends where you are. It's safer to drive forwards out. Why do you think that is?
Because I think you've just got more like a better view.
Yeah.
Especially in like a busy car park.
Exactly.
Where people are going to be walking around with the shopping and stuff.
Exactly. So we can see out of we've got all the peripheral, we've got all of this view here, the sides, at the back, those pillars are massive at the back. The windscreen's quite high up.
Yeah.
The back screen. And yeah, you could miss kids and stuff because it's quite high up. They could be lower than. So you've got to think about it. Same with driveways, you know. Always better to reverse in and drive forwards out. Tip for driveways as well, as you're coming out, if you can't see, open your windows. You'll see it. You'll hear a car 3 seconds before you see it, roughly.
Yeah.
Righto. Let's have a look then. Okay, so I'm going to do a park to the right. Okay, you can do right or left, it's up to you.
Yep.
On the test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clutch down like we discussed. It's a nice smooth roll, covering the brake, and I'm going to squeeze it now. Handbrake on, into reverse, as soon as I've stopped, giving a signal. I'm going to set the right door mirror so it's facing down. Now, you don't have to do this, you don't have to set the door mirrors, but they are driving aids. So they're there to be used as far as I'm concerned, and you certainly can use them on test. You can use all the gadgets as well. You can use all the gadgets. The only thing you can't use, I believe, is the you know, when cars now can park themselves.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of goes without saying, really, doesn't it? But there we go. So before we start, I'm going to agree on a line with myself, or with you in this case.
Okay.
I'm not going to use that line because that's already, well, if you look across, is that line about halfway on my? Is it about there?
It is, yeah. It's about, well, as I'm sat, it's a little bit more to the right. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd be steering probably about here.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm going to get a run up because it's going to allow me to check my shoulder and get a bit of, you know, a bit of rolling speed, so I can steer at the same pace.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a pedestrian here walking towards. So I'm just going to sort of bear in mind where he could go before I start moving.
Yeah.
I'm prepared though while I'm waiting. A lot of learner drivers, so notice, they'll say, oh, this is happening, and they'll sit there not prepared for when it's finished.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, you always want to be ready for the next step. He's walking across, so that should be fine, and it's looking good. So looking backwards as I'm going, that line's coming. I'm using the next line.
Okay.
And the line's about halfway now, so shoulder check, steering on, checking around again, checking forwards and front. Now, about here, I'm going to start to see information in this right door mirror. I'm just holding it on the clutch there, no braking.
Yeah.
It looks to me like that's going to be okay. It's going to take you right in the bay. And then look again. Would you agree? You can lean over if you need to see. Still clear all around and behind. What I might do is just take a little bit off, half an hour. That just makes the steering a bit less sharp. So I'll hold that. There's just a full hour to take off now.
Okay.
If I use half an hour chunks, I can manage it as well. I know what I've put on, therefore what to take off, etc. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, in fact, that's lovely now. I'm going to be dead centre of the bay, I reckon. And I can see the white line in that bay. I'm just holding on a holding point to the clutch here.
Yeah.
And that looks about parallel. That's not quite. Look forward, and that doesn't feel quite. So for that reason, I'm not going to take it off yet.
Yeah.
I've got a full hour to take off. So about there, do you reckon?
Yeah.
That
I'd say
feels
so,
and
yeah.
looks straight in the lines as well. So let's look at the steering here. Half, one, done. Looking backwards. Bit of a tweak there. Wouldn't need it to do it. It's just me being picky. And then what I'm going to do, that white paint, I'm going to line that up in the bottom corner of the windscreen. There. Okay. So handbrake neutral. Job done.
Yeah. So you
Alright.
can use that white paint as well in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
useful.
Yeah. Because you don't. I guess you've got to consider as well. You've got the back tyre, and then you've got what, about that much bumper that hangs behind the back tyre as well. So we don't really want that. We want to limit the chance of some rubbish driver, you know, banging into us or whatever. Because believe me, these things happen at car parks. A top tip for you. I'll tell you what I do. I park the furthest car park space away from the actual car park, from the actual entrance to the shop. Why do you think I do that?
My mum told me the same thing.
Your mum's got some sense then.
So other people don't park around you.
Yeah. Nobody wants to park there.
Yeah.
So you ain't,
It's easier.
you're not going to have the people who go, you know, you've seen them. They'll open a door and go,
Yeah.
without even thinking that these doors are massive. The car's parked next to you. You're going to damage both car. So that's what I do. My wife said that I'm better off walking and leaving the car at home than park that far away. But there you go.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, look, I can't be doing with dents and that in the car.
No.
Anyway, so driving forwards out, yeah? Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So we've got a car there, I can actually use that as a marker. If it wasn't, I'd just use the base, you know, just looking down here really is easier because I'm sat on the right.
Yep.
So all round checks, nothing coming through, blind spots is all good, there's a walkway there and bikers could be coming down. Clear on the entrance, so just edging out, just clutch control. What do you reckon? About halfway with that car nearly?
About halfway, yeah.
Yeah, so a bit more and steer. Steering at the same speed as I'm travelling, if that sort of makes sense. Okay, so that's that really with that. So I'll bring it to a stop there. Do you want to give it a go?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want me to guide you through, or do you want to?
I think, yeah, maybe a bit of guidance just on the first time.
Okay. Just doing that then. Do you want to go round again and use?
Yeah, I think I will this time.
I think it's less likely to. Well, we've seen nobody's really used that area, have they? So it's a bit safer for us to practice.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. So when you're ready, the mirror. Okay, I did tweak that one that time. I didn't move anything else though.
No, that's
So
fine.
in theory, it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, did I reset my? Yeah, I reset the mirror, didn't I? Did I? No, I didn't.
Just goes up a
I should
little
take my own advice, shouldn't I? It'd be helpful. So would we signal at car parks, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a question I always get asked, you know, do I need to signal at a car park?
Really?
I think it's a bonkers question, to be honest. I'm glad that people ask, you know, but
Yeah.
the risk is massive. then. So we'll do a park to the, what do you want, right or left?
We'll go left, I think.
Okay, so check your centre right mirror and just sort of position just slightly. That's enough, and straighten up there. And just we'll use the base, you know, near the end there. So just keep edging it forward. Steer left a bit though, Chris. Hold that till we're straight. Whip it off there, straighten it up, look for the red band at the top. And just keep edging forwards. Nothing behind us, is there, as we're stopping?
No.
A bit further forwards, Chris, if you don't mind. Off the brake. And just clutch down, like we said. Nice and smooth, and squeeze the brake there as we stop. Reverse gear straight away, giving a signal with those big white reverse lights. Handbrake on, because we don't want to, if we're looking forwards and we roll backwards while you're setting up, that wouldn't be good. So, I think we're going to roll backwards anyway. Do you? So
Probably, yeah.
So do you remember what to do with your feet there? Clutch on the floor and...
Clutch on the floor and just use that.
Yeah. Squeeze the foot brake and just pop your handbrake off. Keep your feet where they are. Set the door mirror down the left one before we start. Okay, so the door handle's normally about in the top third of the view, just as a reference in case you was wondering. But that, okay. I guess that is...
It's about halfway.
Maybe put it up, down a little bit more, and that'll put the door handle higher, just so we can see a little bit more ground.
Yeah,
that's fine. Just to note, you don't ever want the door mirror just all the way down, because all you'll see is floor.
Yeah.
You won't see what's coming up.
Yeah.
You'll only see it when it's underneath you. So, before we start, we'll agree on a line. What line are you going to choose?
I'll probably choose that one there.
The one with those two leaves next to it, just as a reference. There's a green packet next to it.
One, yeah.
That's not the bay we're going to land in, is it? It's the line we're going to use, yeah?
It's the line.
So, we'll start the observations from the... Yeah, and work our way around, Chris. And then looking where we're going. Off the brake if it's clear and start rolling. If it doesn't roll, initiate some movement from the clutch. Good. Keep the steering wheel dead straight, Chris. Otherwise you'll be veering off in a direction that you don't want to.
So say about halfway.
Yeah, keep it moving a bit quicker. Check your shoulder first, right shoulder. Bit of movement, Chris. Bit more movement and a full left lock. Go. 1, 2, 3. Done. Good. Okay. So another right shoulder check. Anything developing over the right corner, overtaking, etc.
No.
If not, then back to what we're doing. Left door mirror here now then. How are we looking in relation to the bodywork, the turning circle and the white paint?
I think we're looking okay.
We're looking okay, aren't we? So another shoulder over the right shoulder. Keep the lock on, Chris. Over the right shoulder. Keep the speed low.
Yep.
Keep the speed low. Hold us there, Chris.
Okay.
Because we're going to have another look in here. Hold it there.
Yep.
Now look in the right mirror. Any white line, any information about that white line, just don't bother setting it down. You should be able to just see a bit of it.
Just about see it, yeah.
That's enough. That's all we need to see. So if we can see it, we're not on top of it.
Okay.
Then that's enough. So here, quite parallel, aren't we?
Yeah.
But before we take steering off, if you look forwards, does that look parallel?
No.
So not yet.
It's not yet.
So really slow, because we've got to be really precise here when we do this, yeah? So all round obs before we start. Okay. Keep it real slow. Look forwards before you do it. There. Half, full hour. One more half. Hold. Look at, make sure the red band's at the top. Check right door mirror. Check left.
Yep.
Happy?
Yep.
So looking behind in the direction of travel. And when we get near the end, we're going to swap to that reference point you tell me about, so that you know the back end's not over the curb.
Okay.
Good clutch control there. Glad to see you're not using the brake. Only use it at the end. And swap over to right shoulder now, Chris, and stop it when that reference comes in. Perfect.
Okay.
Really good. Okay, fantastic. So if you look, the gap there and there, I reckon it's probably better than mine. Really, it's more centralised. I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it looks quite even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel parallel?
I do. Yeah.
So you'd be happy leaving this and go off and go swimming at the leisure centre or whatever?
Yeah.
Good. All right then. Any questions? Did it all make sense?
Yeah, it all makes sense. I like the reference point. I think that's quite a useful one.
I use it all the time. I
Yeah.
do with stuff. I use it. I sometimes reverse off. I actually reverse off my father-in-law's driveway.
Yeah.
And because it's a main road, so it's hard to like have the time to stop and then reverse into his driveway. So I reverse out when it's completely clear.
Yeah.
And what I need to know is that my back end isn't hanging out in the road when I see a car.
Yeah.
So I use the curb line to stop, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not obstructing the passing traffic. Anyway. So, yeah, are you alright then? Any questions on that or anything you want to go over? Or
No, I think it's all making sense really. It's pretty useful stuff.
jolly good. And then it's a case of driving out now then.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need to be aware of.
Well, all round obs obviously. But obviously, I think it's halfway. So coming out the way halfway.
Yeah.
Before you turn.
How will you know it's halfway? Where will you look?
I'll use the end of the bays. Or a car if there was a car.
Yeah. You can use that white one, can't you?
Yeah.
A couple of bays away, but it's still relevant. And any one-way systems to adhere to? Any arrows on the floor
Yeah,
or
so
signs around?
One way to the left.
Yeah, okay. Good. So, yeah, when you're ready, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Well done, Chris, good job there. Anything you want to go over with that before we move on, or do you want to do any more of that before we move on, or are you happy with that for your own private practice to go off and develop?
Happy with that for private practice.
Okay, awesome, good job.